All right, guys, we're back. We're here to do Married at First Sight, season 17, episode, and I'm going to do both 17 and 18, and I plan on uploading 19 sometime today. So thank you for your patience, with me. Let's get into the video, shall we? And I still haven't figured out, what I'm doing. I'm just kind of doing it on the fly today. So, again, please be patient, with me. I'm going through a lot, so I haven't been in a mind. I can't do a video if my mind is not centered on what I need to be talking about. So, thank you for your patience again. So, where are we? So, yeah, I have to do 17. So, we have to go all the way back to the couples retreat when the group is finding out that Emily has had the accident. And so I thought that was a really good clip. I wasn't sure what Married at First Sight, was going to do. But I thought that they, started off at a good, point. So, I don't know what's going on with my voice right now, or my throat. But one of the things that I got, from this kind of whole conversation during it is that Emily was saying that Brennan was the first one to step up, make sure, that she had adequate care until the next relay, like the medical personnel, actually showed up. So I think that if that is the way that she felt, then Married at First Sight should have more, should really encourage all of their personnel to have some kind of first aid training so that she doesn't feel like, that way. I mean, because I think Brennan kind of reacted out of it was spontaneous. It was something that he would have done, for anyone. I'm glad that he has that kind of that responsiveness, to an emergency situation. It means life, or death. And I've always been, as a nurse, I never wanted to work in the ER because I don't know if I actually had that, capability of being able to just see something and just immediately, give the life-saving, response that's needed because it's so important. And, I just never had that confidence, in myself. So anyway, they're all giving, Emily encouragement. And somebody was saying in one of the videos they didn't understand why her hair wasn't washed, why they left her hair like that. Because she was going to go to surgery. The wound was so deep that she was going to require stitches beyond what the ER, was comfortable of doing. And it's a time limit. There's a time limit. So, So if she was in the ER, and I want to say it's like 4 hours if you have been like in a situation and it's been 4 hours after, then the ER can't just do it with stitches. You actually have to go to the OR and have it done. And my bigger point was that in the OR, they're going to have to sterilize the area anyway. So, if the hair is going to be washed, then it would be best for it to be done in an OR environment. So that was the point that I wanted to make. So where are we? We are, got the friends notified. Okay, so Becca has said that when Austin wanted to go to the bedroom of the NBA, or no, it was NFL, the NFL player. So she said that he apologized to her, but then she got sick. So I don't know what stomach issue or issue she had, because that is a thing that's prone to her. She didn't have problems. Normally, endometriosis is a uterine problem that happens separate from a gastric problem. And for her, they kind of combined, because when she had one surgery for something else, it ended up with her having endometriosis. So for some reason, these two things have been linked, together with her. So in any instance, she wasn't feeling well, and she wasn't able to keep food down. So Austin was kind of free to just relax for the rest of the trip, because he didn't have to have that pressure of making sure that she wanted to have sex because she wasn't sick. Because she was sick and really wasn't interested, in that kind of activity anyway. So Emily and Brennan are talking, and I don't know, that whole hand-holding thing. I actually saw it as her holding his hand more so than he was holding her. So I encourage you guys to go down there, and if you disagree with me or, agree, then, let me know. So Chloe and Michael, are they arriving? Yeah, they must be getting at the retreat. And so they're getting caught up on Emily and her thing that she's got going on. And then I think they play a game. So I encourage you to go and look, at the video, about that as well. And so where are we now? Okay. So Orion wants to take this opportunity because I think Michael inquired about how everybody else was doing, and then I can't remember if Orion was first. I think he was first, and he start talking about he and Lauren, and this is what I want for our outcome, and this, that, and the third, without having discussed it with her first. And then he's trying to take the safety of communicating himself with a group when he needs to be man enough to actually just go to her and have a conversation. So then when she doesn't respond, he's like, well, do you have, he has to prompt her to give a response. And she was like, I'm just going to enjoy the wine and conversation. And they just moved, on. And I really appreciated, her grace. If anything that Lauren gets out of this is she gets my admiration. Same way I felt about Jasmine in that season with Aries. She was a graceful woman. And it was just really nice to be able to see and connect, with that level of womanhood. And I totally feel the same way, about Lauren. And Emily comes back. Oh, no. Where am I? Oh, yeah. Then Lauren communicates that, to Orion, because he comes to her and it's like, oh, well, this, that, that. And she said, well, you said that you wanted to connect, but then I didn't hear anything from you. And he's like, oh, is that what it takes? And he's like, a day late and $1 short. That's what I got. And sometimes it is just that way. I mean, when someone works very hard to get away from you, it's going to take some convincing for them to say that all of that work that they did wasn't worth it. To say, just walk away from all of that. And he's not equipped at this point to be able to meet that level of need, because I see now in their conversation that she's actually given righteous judgment. He was giving her unrighteous judgment in his assessment of her, but now she's actually looking and giving him facts about, like, there's a time when he's like, if we could team up, we can give these other couples, the inspiration of, our mistakes. And she's like, well, I'm not sure that I understand how you want to be more of a team with me now than you want to be a team with me in our actual marriage. So that's incongruent. And I can't get down with that level of instability, with you. So I thought that was, that was like a punch. I love that. And she didn't do it in a malicious way. But that's what the truth does. The truth will knock somebody out. It doesn't matter how you give it to them. It's just a reaction that happens when you're not ready to hear the information that someone, has to say to you. So it's really, it's a serious, thing. And I was really proud again and happy of her communication with him. So Emily is coming back, from the hospital, and she's cool. Like I said, in my life, but a person of her caliber, I actually wouldn't mind associating, myself with. And I'll just leave it, at that. So I encourage you guys to go down and look at that video. So they give us an update on Becca, and what else is in this video? Them having dinner, and then Brendan and them playing poker. And I like Michael's conversation to Brendan in that. So I encourage you guys to actually go and look at that video. And then where are we? Okay. One of the things that I liked in the sharing thoughts and fears clip that I put up is that when Chloe was communicating herself to the girls, Lauren really gave an insight that, of the level of how communication, is very important. And she also did that same thing, with Brennan in that clip that I put down there. When he finally started talking about his issues, with Emily. And she was like, well, if you don't tell a person that, you can't make assumptions that people are always going to pick up on your little hints. You have to be verbal, because she's trying to give you grace in a situation where you actually don't want it. She didn't say that, but that's what I heard from her conversation. So Brennan wants grace from Emily. I'm questioning how much grace has he been able to accept from her. So it's a back and a forth. It's not just a one-sided situation. If you're going to communicate where you're giving, then you have to be able to also communicate what you're receiving, so that you can put out the level of commonality and equality. I try to give people back what I'm getting, what I feel like I'm getting, from somebody else. And I also give, more. And if I don't see a person willing to even give me the bare, then, and I'm giving you more, then yeah, I'm going to have to stop giving to you. And at this point, I try not to make people feel, any kind of way about that. I'll just stop doing it and won't, have anything to say about it. If you notice it, okay, fine. And if you want to talk about it, that's fine too. But it's not something, that I actually try to bring up, with people. Like I said, I just stopped doing it. I don't, make a federal case, out of it. Once I get, to my point. So, where are we now? Lauren set up a yoga time for everybody. And Austin was still eating his breakfast. I assume it was either breakfast or lunch when she set it up, so I don't know. But then Becca and Emily, they came out and support, everybody. And I thought that those were two. It's one of the clips is called "It's Yoga Time," and then I think they finish the yoga in the next video. I'm not sure. And yeah, so Becca and Austin are having a conversation, and I just wish Austin would just say whatever he has to say. Because all of this pussyfooting around is only making the situation worse. When you don't make yourself clear, then you leave other people to fill in the blanks. And that's just not something. If you can, like I said, have clear conversation, then I think that is like the best opportunity, Because for people who do get it, if they ever hear the story, then they're like, wait a minute, that sounds very vague. And I know, this person to be very clear. So I would have to hear what they actually have to say about this before I can make a final judgment. If you can get that out of a person, through your conversation, you're not even anywhere near the situation. But because of the character that you've exuded, they actually want to give you that benefit of the doubt. That is a valuable, tool, to have out there, as an advocate, for you. Fine, I'm not going to discount what you're saying, but I would actually have to hear from the other person before I could make, any final judgments. Or I would have to see, said behavior, for myself. So I actually kind of respect, people who have that. And I think that Austin, while he wants to be that, he's not. And I feel the same way about Brennan. He keeps saying that he doesn't want to hurt her feelings. But the way you acting is hurting her feelings. So what you're trying to avoid is still happening. So you're not avoiding anything. You would actually benefit yourself and her if he would just, tell the truth. But this is what happens, when you cut up in mess like judgment. He doesn't want her to feel like he's judging her when that's exactly, what he's doing. So I don't know. In this clip, I hear Becca when she's telling him that she wants to believe him. She wants to believe what he's saying to her, but his actions are not lining up to the words that are coming out of his mouth. So I think that's a disconnect that Austin is not hooked up to. So I don't know where that's coming from, but that's what I got, from it. And again, I'm always going to encourage you to go and look and see it, for yourself. So Lauren and Orion, I'm just going to say that I appreciate Lauren for saying that she's open to be open, because she really doesn't owe Orion that. That is actually a gift. And that she told him that when and if she's interested in connecting with him, she'll do the outreach. She doesn't need him to do that. So she said, yeah, let me take the lead on that. And when, I feel that I want to, talk to you, then I'll let you know. And I thought that was good. So this was the one where they went to the obstacle course. And that was good. I liked Michael and all of his stuff. The thing I'll say is it was really funny to me how people were jumping up and down about his masculinity. I really want people to understand that there are professional athletes out there that are still gay. I don't think that Michael is gay because he said that he's not. He said that he's a heterosexual. But my thing is, just because he's athletic does not negate, it doesn't say that his sexuality is a heterosexual. So I just found that, to be really interesting. I did think that that actually added a level of mystique and interest in Chloe. So that was positive. And I like that Becca and Emily, were there to observe and give encouragement, to people. So where are we here? Okay, so people are packing up. Emily is really encouraged by Brennan's care and concern about her, because this is what she's been waiting to see from him throughout the experiment. And I don't know if he really understands that. So then Austin and Emily end up at a wolf sanctuary, and they I thought it was really interesting when they said the wolves, mate for life, and they have the sanctuary where they're trying to give said wolves opportunities, to find each other, and have that level of bonding in a safe environment where they can repopulate, themselves in safety. Okay, so I think at this point I'm at 21 minutes. So I'm going to end this part of episode 17. I'm going to upload it while I do episode 18. And if you guys don't want to hear about the stuff that I have to talk about after this, then this be the time for you to click off. Thank you for your time and attention, and welcome to all the new subscribers, and thank you for your support. So, couple of things that I wanted to add and reiterate, because I want to kind of break this up. Since I'm doing 2 videos, I want to break up all the content, that I can. It's been a lot, but I want to make sure that I give you guys the information that I think that we're going to need in order to figure out how to get around this system that's determined to kill us. So I'm doing this in the spirit of trying to help humanity exist. And again, for people who don't believe in Jesus or God and are atheists and y'all don't want to hear nothing that I have to say, child, don't listen. Leave now, because I am going to be talking, about biblical things. And if that's offensive, then I don't have anything else to tell you. So, one of the things that I have been communicating about is money. So, we talked about the Constitution, gold and silver, how money is minted. It's not supposed to be printed. We went from printing gold certificates on paper, where you could actually take that paper and go and turn it in and get gold back. And now you can't. You get paper, and that's all you get back is paper. So we talked about that. We talked about the petrodollar and how when we came off the gold standard, we went on the petrodollar standard. So the other part of what I want to bring out today is called the Bretton Woods Agreement. So when I go back and listen to this video, as I'm hearing this, if I haven't done it beforehand, then that's when I'm going to add what the spelling and everything of what I'm talking about. I'll probably do a Wikipedia or something like that, so you guys can go and look up what I'm talking about for yourselves, because I don't want you to just listen to me. I actually want you to take the information I'm giving you and go and look it up for yourself, so you'll know, because this is the kind of stuff that people are not talking about, today. So the thing with the Bretton Woods Agreement, this was World War II-ish. It was a reset of the global order that was being done. And land was being divided up. People was making agreements You know, you had the losers and the winners. So the winners are the ones that get the spoil. And so they came up with this thing to make the dollar the world's reserve currency. So you can spend the dollar in any country in the world. I can't take the peso and spend it anywhere in the world. I actually have to take that peso and convert it over to said money in the economy. So for people in the United States, they don't necessarily have to do that, but for money saving opportunities, it is, and just for expediency, like if you need to take the train, you know, or something, you're going to need to pay in that country's currency in order to be able to. So that's when you're going to have to do the exchange. So even though, like in restaurants and high-end restaurants and other, you know, shops and stuff, you can still use your American money and they'll do the exchange. It's easier if you take some of your American money and transfer it over into that country's currency. Like, and when I went to Korea, the dollar was stronger than the yuan. So you actually got more yuan for the dollar than the opposite way. And when you went and bargained with the shopkeeper, you actually had more yuan to actually bargain with them with. So you guys could come to a happy medium about it. So that is another economic reason to take some of your money and convert it, you know, over to the economies, to the society or the economy, you know, that you're participating in. In other countries, like in South America right now, the dollar is king. So when you show up and you got dollar bills, it's like a red carpet, you know, it's gonna, because the country is starved and their currency isn't worth anything. So there are countries where our currency is stronger than the country's currency. And with a new reset, especially on oil. So I told you guys that Russia and China had this thing going on where, and I have to look it up. And when I go back and listen to myself, I want to encourage me to put up the articles that I'm talking about to give you guys the vision of what I'm saying. So with the BRICS countries, they want to be able to trade like in gold, or say like with Russia, they want to be able to trade in rubles. That's their monetary, you know, system. But it's illegal at this point. The way that the OPEC cartel, and I say cartel because them jokers are like the mafia, okay? The way that it's set up now is that they have this deal with the United States. So that's another reason why the United States is taking whatever Saudi Arabia is dealing out, because if Saudi Arabia pulls out of wanting only the U.S. dollar, then that's going to be a big blow to the U.S. dollar to buy oil. You know, like I said, right now it's illegal and they can sanction, you know, you for it. So China has been buying up a whole lot of gold because gold is an acceptable change of currency. The United States can't bar gold or silver exchange for goods and services. Even now, if you show up somewhere and you have silver, then they should accept the silver. You know, you go to the bank and they'll take your silver and they'll actually give you. It's like the same thing with the currency exchange thing. You take your money to the bank. You're supposed to be able to go to that bank and get money, you know, from it or whomever, you know, for said product. Okay, so the other thing that I kind of wanted to talk about, you know, with money in this whole conversation is for Christians. who's supposed to, oh, I love Jesus, this, that, and the third. Then you don't understand how he feels about money. If you are a capitalist, then it's impossible for you to agree with what he says about money, because capitalists only want to be able to do with their money what they want to be able to do with it. They don't want to have someone dictate to them what to do with their money. So you have companies that give to medical organizations. That is actually good. You've got, other environmental things. So that's actually good. But they do, what they want to do. Same thing, like with Christians. There are Christian organizations that actually only, support other, Christian organizations. But my point is, if we have a country that is off balance, because instead of providing medical rights to our people, we'd rather spend money sending it to another country so that they can go to war. We'll tell another person in our society, well, you need to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. And you need to, sacrifice the same way that we are willing to sacrifice, so we can give money to the military-industrial complex to go out and go kill other people and starve other people to death. We got food out there that we're trying to give to the Palestinians that's out there sitting on trucks. And they're killing the people because they don't want them to be able to have the food. So yeah, we're in so much trouble, and I just kind of want to give that level of input into these conversations, that we're having, out here, with one another, especially if we're using the Bible. And this is the thing that really just drives me insane, especially with this whole Trump and really Biden, mess. You got Christians out here who are so ignorant about what Jesus taught that they are really, really advocating to vote for people who are murdering innocent people. A lot of Christians in Syria decimated, killed. And you got U.S. Christians out here that have nothing to say, about it. Same thing happening in China, with the Uyghurs. Same thing happening with Afghanis up in Pakistan. Same thing, with Kashmir and all that fighting and mess, that they got going over there for a little strip, of land. I mean, it's just really insane. And Christians are at the forefront of making sure that these atrocities are not talked about and they're not dealt with. But they will go over there with their Bibles, preaching their lies, for Jesus, and trying to, and